नमस्कार, वेलकम। आप सुन रहे हैं द साकेत भाटिया एस्ट्रोलॉजी शो, जो आता है हर ट्यूसडे 4 से 5 बजे के बीच में। आपकी जो भी व्यक्तिगत समस्या है, जो कि आपको लगता है एस्ट्रोलॉजी सॉल्व कर सकता है, या फिर इफ यू ऑलवेज बीन क्यूरियस अबाउट एस्ट्रोलॉजी, देन दिस इज द शो। अगर आपको भी बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लगता है तो आप एकदम सही जगह पे आए हैं, क्योंकि डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया इज लाइव विद अस हियर इन रेडियो जिंदगी के स्टूडियो। He's here every day, every Tuesday between 4 to 5 p.m. He has a PhD in electrical engineering and specializes in different semiconductor devices, etc. But he is here with us to talk about astrology. He is a PhD in astrology as well. He is a board member of IVAN, International Association of Vedic Astrology and Numerology. अगर आपके पास कोई सवाल है उनके लिए और आपको लगता है ऑन एयर पूछने में आपको हिचकिचाहट हो रही है, तो ऑफिस का नंबर इज 408-639-5300. वेबसाइट is saketbhatia.com. info@saketbhatia पर आप ईमेल भी भेज सकते हैं. With that, let me start our show with our guest, with our host. Hello and welcome. साकेत जी, कैसे हैं आप?
Hi Swati, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing good. It's always nice to be here every week. You see, the goal of this show is not to make you an astrologer, but at the same time, हमारा goal ये है कि you understand what astrology can do,
Right.
what it can deliver, how it can benefit you, and why you should go to a good astrologer just like you go to a good doctor.
जी, what I like about your show is कि उसमें काउंटर क्वेश्चन पूछने देते हैं आप. ऐसा नहीं कि आई नो एवरीथिंग एंड आई एम गोइंग टू जस्ट हियर इट विल बी अ मोनोलॉग. यू गिवन मी द फ्रीडम कि नो क्वेश्चन इज अ डम क्वेश्चन, एंड आई थिंक आवर लिसनर्स विल एग्री. एक्चुअली हमारी फोन की घंटियां ऑलरेडी बज रही हैं, बट आई रिमाइंड आवर लिसनर्स की जरा थम जाइए. लेट अस किक ऑफ द शो. आपको हाउसेस के बारे में बताना है. वी ऑलरेडी स्पोक अबाउट ऑल द हाउसेस फ्रॉम 1 थ्रू 10, और आज हम 11 और 12 के बारे में बात करेंगे, उनके बारे में जानेंगे और ज़्यादा. वैसे बिफोर वी स्टार्ट, मेरी तरफ से मेरा कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन और मेरा सवाल ये है कि साकेत जी, देयर आर टू types of signs, right? When we say about Aries कौन सा है और Aquarian कौन सा है, और Indians follow a different system, and when we look at the newspaper where you read your horoscope, it's different. Which one is more reliable, and one should follow which one? Yeah, we should follow both. What is your take?
So it's really up to you.
Okay.
First, you have to understand कि इनमें फर्क क्या है.
जी.
So the sun is obviously it's a star, but in astrology हम सोचते हैं sun is a planet, right? And the sun spends 1 month in one sign, because there are 12 signs, right? 12 महीने होते हैं.
जी.
So the sun is typically in Scorpio in the month of December. So that's why when you open your horoscope or Sagittarius आप खोलोगे, you'll see Scorpio is November 11th or Sagittarius is December 13th. Why? Because sun is in that particular zone.
Okay.
So one thing about Western astrology is it's more of entertainment, right? Because think about it. All people who are Sagittarius cannot have the same thing going on today. Or all people who are Capricorn cannot have the same thing. So this is one of the issues in Western astrology, where all the people are grouped, the whole world is grouped into 12 zones. So you are understanding कि it is sun based.
जी.
In Vedic astrology क्या होता है? We narrow that down to 24 hours. And the zodiac sign changes every 2 hours. That's why we said the ascendant changes every 2 hours. Now, when I was born, I was a Scorpio ascendant.
जी.
But in Western astrology, I'm Sagittarius. You could be Cancer, but in Western astrology, you could be something else.
Aquarius. Yeah.
You could. It all depends. आप जब पैदा हुए थे, what was the rising sign then? Correct?
जी.
And in Western astrology, it is where your sun is placed. Now, that brings another interesting question. Many people watch CNBC, NDTV or
Right.
India में जो देखते हैं, right?
जी.
वहाँ पर astrologers आते हैं, कहते हैं आपका आज ये होगा, वो होगा. Those astrologers are not saying that based on Western astrology. They're not basing it on ascendant. They're basing it on moon.
Right.
So they are basing कि आपका moon कहाँ है.
जी.
So you have to first open your chart and figure out कि आपका moon किस घर में बैठा है. And then your daily horoscope is based on where your moon is placed according to what happens on TV news.
I see. Okay.
So there are 3 concepts. The ascendant, the moon and the sun.
Okay.
So हमने last time एक show में कहा था that if you want to get better accurate readings, we create in astrology called Sudarshan Chakra. In that we study your chart from the ascendant, the sun and the moon, because ascendant is you, sun is your soul and moon is your mind.
अच्छा.
So when we have correlation from the Sudarshan Chakra, we can be sure that event will happen in your life.
Sudarshan Chakra, and that's a separate. This is different from your birth chart.
It is your birth chart, but it is 3 overlap birth charts on top of each other.
I see.
Your ascendant, your moon, and your sun. All of these overlap will give you a Sudarshan Chakra, which gives more accurate reading. Do we do it? All the time.
All right. तो अगर आपको भी ये इंटरेस्टिंग लगा एंड इफ यू वुड लाइक टू मेक योरसेल्फ सुदर्शन चक्र, यू नो व्हाट टू डू, आपको जल्द से जल्द saketbhatia.com पर जाना है, या फिर आप फोन कर सकते हैं 408-639-5300, दैट इज 408-639-5300, या फिर आप ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं info@saketbhatia.com. दैट ब्रिंग्स अस टू आवर टॉपिक ऑफ डिस्कशन फॉर टुडे, जो कि है 11th हाउस. 11th हाउस का सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है, क्या होता है, क्या मिल पाता है, एंड दैट्स अगेन गोइंग टू बी एन important part of one's future and present, and how their life is going to be. क्या होता है 11th
So
house?
this is our 5th week of going through houses.
जी.
Right? हम काफी हफ्तों से बोल रहे हैं कि first house क्या है, second house क्या है, and I told you all houses are equally important. Believe me, there is not one house which is less important than the other. 12th house पे भी आएंगे, which will surprise you. You'll say 12th क्यों important है, but 11th क्या होता है? 11th को हिंदी में कहते हैं लाभ भव.
House of gains.
House of gains. What is the difference between house of wealth and house of gains? House of wealth is how much money you will make, how you will accumulate that wealth. House of gains is how you will utilize that wealth.
Like all your investments and such.
That is 5th house. That is speculation.
Okay.
Like, so I'll give you a better example. You had creative intelligence, 5th house, to go buy seeds. आपने seeds खरीद लिए.
जी.
Now you are going to plant those seeds. That is 2nd house. You'll take good care of it. That's your values and that's your wealth. The result the seeds give you in the tree is your 11th house.
पर ये तो फिर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हाउस है, लाइक यू सेड सारे हाउसेस इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये इंपॉर्टेंट भी है. तो आइए बात करते हैं 11th हाउस के बारे में.
11th house is not just gains. It is also social involvement.
Okay.
It is also advanced degrees that you'll get. If you have PhD or something, you will be able to study that from 11th house. So just before this show, I had a show in New York. And वहाँ पर somebody asked me a question कि if your house is bad, does it mean all the factors in the house go bad? And the answer is no. That is not true. अगर 11th house में गलत planet बैठे हों, that doesn't mean you're going to have no social life, you'll have no gains, you'll have no degree. That's not possible. You have to understand that house represents those things.
Okay.
Now those things are represented by different planets which own that house, different planets which look at that house, and different planets that sit in that house.
Right.
And then there is an associated degree with them, right? So 11th house is also called an Upachaya house. Anything that is placed in that house grows.
Okay.
It grows. इस show पे I use the word Galika Mandi very often.
जी.
Galika Mandi are the 2 moons of Saturn. 99% astrologers don't use that concept because they don't understand it. Galika Mandi is critical. When Gulika Mandi are placed in 11th house, they become nice planets.
Okay.
इस घर में कोई भी planet allowed है. Whether it is Venus, whether it is Jupiter, whether it is Saturn, whether it is Mars. Anything and everything is more than welcome in the 11th house. इस घर में जो planet आता है, it gains strength over time. Now we'll understand why this is good and why this is bad. So 11th house is income gains. It also shows how the stuff you possess in life, how they will increase, fast, slow, or which other way. It relates to your goals. It relates to your aspirations, wishes, जो wills होती हैं. Inheritance is 8th house, but will itself is written in the 11th house. जो ambition है, वो 11th house है. 11th house need not be what you want to do for yourself. It may mean what you want to do for your family members, for others also. आप क्या करना चाहते हो? That is 11th house. Now, it is your desire. It is your fulfillment. 11th house is also older brothers and sisters. 3rd was younger.
जी.
11th is older brothers. How your relations will be with them. Sometimes we see some negative planets sitting. We study and we come to know your relations with some of your siblings are good and some not so good. That is because of the placement there. So, this is a house of abundance. बहुत बढ़ता है इस घर में. We like good planets to be there. Negative हो तो भी ठीक है. Doesn't matter कोई planet यहाँ है कि नहीं, it will do well. Jupiter placed in this house can make you fat. It can make you wise. It can give you spiritual development. It can give you hobbies. It will give you intelligence. It will give you wisdom.
जी.
Venus जब यहाँ दिखता है, it may give you many wives. It may give you more than one marriage. So इसका negative aspect भी होता है.
जी.
Right? If the 7th house is bad, 4th house is hurt, 11th house में Venus है, it may indicate multiple partners, multiple marriages, right? So this is one of the things. Same for a woman. If we see Jupiter in the 11th, it may mean more than one husband in the future, right? So this is a greed house also. People extend themselves to get more than what they want or more than what they can achieve in life. I didn't use the word deserve, you did.
Yes.
Okay, it is the house of over excess and overabundance, right? Now, Western में और Eastern में फर्क होता है. In Western astrology, what happens is this is viewed as group work, social status. In Eastern astrology, Vedic, it is viewed as your hard work, your social interaction, your stuff. So, if this is a bad house, you will have issues interacting with people. There are some people who are shy. There are some people who don't get out much. They don't meet. This is the 11th house. Financial gains, fluctuations, sudden income, sudden wealth.
Lottery.
No, that is 9th house. 11th house is what is sudden. Lottery is different.
Okay.
Okay, lottery is more luck based.
Luck.
This is sudden, like आपने कोई plot of land खरीद लिया. And it's been sitting there for decades, and all of a sudden
Demand होगी.
they say, they're going to build a temple near it, or like Ayodhya, and the house price goes up.
Yeah.
Goes up 4 times. So what are the indications of this house? Ambitions. So keywords, right? Ambitions, desires, opportunities, gains, profit. Sudden financial fluctuation, wealth from sideline jobs, wealth from ventures, gain through profession, elder siblings, paternal uncles. It also represents your knees and ankles. तो अगर यहाँ पर बुरे planet है, we know you might have arthritis or pain in your knees and ankles. इसका कारक Jupiter होता है. So if Jupiter is placed in the 11th house, remember जब कारक अपने घर में बैठता है, it causes stress for the living person in that house. Jupiter in that house would cause stress for your older sibling. You would be a cause of stress, or there will be stress between the two of you.
जी, कारक के बारे में हम डिटेल से बात करेंगे इन अ बिट, पर 11th के बारे में जरा बताइए. और
So 11th is an Upache house. Everything increases, but 11th का जो lord है, he is considered to be the most negative lord in astrology chart.
शनि.
No, इसका lord. It can be anything.
Okay.
It would be Saturn for an Aries ascendant. Okay. It would be Saturn for Taurus ascendant. But in दोनों के लिए he is the most negative planet. 11th lord जहाँ बैठता है, it takes negative energy. Now why? Because astrology is more spiritual based.
Okay.
In astrology, we want you to give up your gains. We want you to give up your social stuff and be one with God. We want you to be one soul, happy, content with themselves. And that 11th lord doesn't give you.
Right, because it's a house of gains.
It is the house of gains. Exactly. तो हमें ये 11th lord को कम करना है. जहाँ 11th lord देखता है, he's considered bad. He generally causes harm in astrology. He will take you away from the spiritual path and get you more into money, get you more into other stuff. Again, hobbies भी अगर 11th में हो, is going to increase it. जो बैठता है वहाँ, it will increase. We see this in so many charts. We saw this in the chart of, I think, Virat Kohli, where he had a debilitated moon. Right? Debilitated means very weak moon, but in the 11th house. Over time वो strong हो जाएगा, वो बढ़ जाएगा. तो अगर आपका गलिका मंडी 11th house में है, you're lucky.
जी.
11th house के planets, they'll grow. 11th house lord, not so good. These are things you have to understand and study.
Got it. Okay.
We'll quiz you on it next week.
All of them. खाली 11th नहीं, सारे houses पे quiz कीजिए. But before we move to the 12th house, let's take a couple of callers. Hello, you are live on air on Radio Zindagi.
जी, thank you. Namaste, Saket ji.
Namaste, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am doing very well. Thanks for asking. How can I help you?
So Saket ji, मेरी date of birth है December 16th, 1984.
December 16th, 1984.
नागपुर रात के 2 बजे.
Nagpur.
Yes.
Maharashtra.
That's right.
Yeah, I've been there. बहुत टाइम हो गया.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Maharashtra,
Yeah.
Nagpur. Okay. And you said
Yeah.
what time?
रात के 2 बजे. 2 a.m.
Okay, 2 a.m. And what is your question?
जी साकेत जी, मुझे ये जानना था कि मेरा जॉब कैसे रहेगा. लास्ट ईयर मैं ले ऑफ हो गई थी अगेन, बट थैंकफुली आई गॉट रिक्रूटेड बैक अगेन इन द सेम कंपनी within a month. बट अभी मार्केट बहुत खराब शुरू है, एंड आई एम थिंकिंग ऑफ लाइक buying a new house or upgrading the same house. So before I make that big move, I wanted to know if my job will be stable for coming years.
So you just let's start with one thing. When did you lose your job? Just give me that time frame approximately.
Last year May 2023.
So at least हम जाके देखते हैं. So you're December 16, 2 o'clock, right? You are a
Yes,
Virgo ascendant in Vedic astrology.
right.
And
That's right.
your Mercury is retrograde, is combust. But combust, Sun is lord of a difficult house, so combustion will impact you. वो तो पता है हमें. And combustion में he hits your career lord, which is essentially the 10th house, na? So you'll have some issues with superiors. If you don't have, superiors might have. Now, we are trying to narrow down back on when you lost your job last year, 2023. उस time पे Jupiter दशा चल रही थी.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you're still running Jupiter. Okay, इस कुंडली में Jupiter तो is a very strong planet. But Jupiter, Ketu khatam ho gaya, ab Jupiter, Venus. So now your question is, how is your career looking right now? Correct?
Yeah.
I think it's looking very good.
Okay, तो अभी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएंगे ना साकेत जी जॉब लूज वगैरह करने के?
Even if you have a problem, it's only going to be between June and July of this year. June और July के बीच में you might have just a 1 month problem because आपका sun weak है. The planet Sun is also Lord of 12th house. No, वो थोड़ा weak है. इस chart में Sun is not considered very good. I would say you have no problem in your job. In fact, why don't you wait for a year and a half? You can even get promoted, or you could even get a better job in a year and a half from today.
ओके, पर आप कह रहे हो कि जून जुलाई में प्रॉब्लम आ सकता है.
आ सकता है. Chances is always there, but I don't think you will still have a problem. There is no bad aspect, there is no bad Saturn, there is nothing. You should be fine.
Okay.
Good luck with that. Thank you. And if you have any follow-up questions, 408-639-5300 is the phone number to call to get yourself an appointment. We have another caller on air. Hello, you're live on air with Dr. Saket Bhatia.
Hello. Hello, Dr. Bhatia.
Hi, how are you?
I had a question for my daughter.
Acha. And what is your name or your daughter's name?
Yeah, my daughter's name is Sadhana.
Sadhana. Okay, like the actress.
Yes.
Yes. And what is her date of birth?
She was born on May 26th, 2007.
May 26th, 2007. Okay.
And time, it's in California, Walnut Creek. So it's like, time was like 7:20 p.m.
1 minute, 7:20 p.m. Okay.
in Walnut Creek, California. So I think she's running Rahu Dasha with Jupiter or Saturn. I think Rahu with Jupiter or Rahu with Saturn, I think. That's what she's running on right now. She's interested in medicine. She's also equally interested in engineering. She's very good at studies. Just wanted to know what is in store for her because abhi uska 4th house Rahu is actually running the Dasha for her.
So she's born May 26, 2007 at what time again?
7:20 p.m.
Achha, 7:20 p.m. So I have her chart. Everything you're saying is right. You seem to have a lot of knowledge. 4th house Rahu. So her 4th house is afflicted, right?
Why is it afflicted?
We consider it to be afflicted. Rahu apne ghar mein baitha hai. It's okay. That's not a problem. It doesn't mean much in the course of what you're asking. What are you asking? You're asking what is her profession or what do you think she will do?
Correct.
So in her chart we have she could do engineering, you said, or she could do medicine.
Correct.
दोनों तो कर नहीं सकती ना.
Correct, understood.
तो ये जो चार्ट बनती है, what you know astrology, what do you think she's going to do? So I'll get.
I think she's a Vrishchik Lagan. So basically she
Scorpio.
is like 11th house mein uska Hasta Nakshatra mein. Moon is there.
Absolutely.
Moon is being aspected by Mars, and Mars and Jupiter are already exchanging signs, which is a good sign.
Saturn is also aspecting her moon.
Correct. Saturn is also aspecting the moon, and Saturn is also being aspected with Jupiter.
Correct. Well, that is good. Jupiter keeps Saturn under check, but remember her Jupiter is retrograde. A good planet like Jupiter, when it goes retrograde, it loses a lot of its strength. In the Navam's chart, Jupiter Capricorn में बैठा है. That means it is a little debilitated. Remember one thing, a planet in its own house, when debilitated in Navam, is still considered strong. A planet in another sign like Jupiter, neutral dignity, in debilitation would give some debilitated results. So she has to work hard at it. Okay. Generally, rule of thumb is to do a quick check analysis. You must look at the chart from the ascendant, the sun and moon, and compare where the 10th house is sitting in the Navamsh. वहाँ से आपको पता चल जाएगा what she's going to do.
Okay.
But in general, this is more of an engineering chart as based to a medical chart.
Okay. More engineering than medicine.
Yeah, I'm not saying that she cannot do, but this is more of an engineering chart. I've gone through tons and tons of them, you know. This is more of an engineering chart with an advanced degree, okay?
Good luck to your daughter. Thank you so much for connecting with us. If you'd like to connect offline and exchange ideas like you were bouncing off ideas right now, email address is info@saketbhatia.com or आप call भी कर सकते हैं 408-639-5300. We have another caller with us. Hello, you're live on air.
Hey, hi, Saket ji. Namaste.
Namaste, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am doing fine.
Okay, Saket ji, my name is Ritesh Ojha, and my date of birth is 15th June 1978.
15th June 1978.
Yes, and my time is 1:35 p.m.
1:35 p.m. Okay. And place?
It's West Bengal, Howrah.
Which state is that?
West Bengal.
Howrah.
West Bengal.
Okay.
Howrah.
Okay, and what is your question?
My question is like, as you were talking about the 11th house, मेरा investment मैंने जितने भी किए हैं सब उल्टा हो गया है.
Okay.
So just wanted to know, like, will I be able to regain it, or it will be like?
आपके invest. Do you have a partner or is it your own investments?
No, my own investment. So be it property or be it मेरे को वहाँ से return नहीं मिला जितना मैंने जो expect किया था.
There is a difference between not getting returns and losing everything. तो ये loss की है कि this is
दोनों include है इसमें. Loss भी है और return भी नहीं है.
loss भी है, return कम है.
हाँ.
Okay. So आपकी कुंडली में 11th house, this is related to what? Property?
Property, sales, saving.
Property, sales, saving. Let's analyze, right? आपकी जो ascendant है, he happens to be sitting in 10th house. That's a good position. अपने घर में बैठा है. If I look at your Navam's chart, your Saturn is actually debilitated. Saturn debilitation, Saturn is the planet of property, right? वो debilitated है. आपके main chart में ये 12वें घर में बैठा है. गली का मंडी have split. One is sitting in the 12th house, one is sitting in the 11th house. दशा चल रही है जुपिटर राहु मून की अभी. ये प्रॉब्लम कब स्टार्ट हुई आपकी?
तो काफी समय से चल रहा है, लेकिन रिसेंटली लास्ट दिसंबर में ही कुछ ये हुआ.
तो जुपिटर राहु दशा जो होती है सन के साथ, that has caused this, because I see my understanding of your chart is, अब Saturn की जो दशा आती है, the first half is going to be beneficial for you, the second half is not going to be that good. Okay. Saturn dasha is coming in 3 months from today. Plan out your stuff. You may be able to recover most of your gains or losses in Saturn dasha. But if you don't play it right, the second dasha बहुत भारी पड़ेगी आपको. Because Saturn is going to promote the 6th house, which is debt. It is also going to promote disease. First half अच्छी रहेगी. Saturn is weak. Saturn is debilitated. इसकी जो strength है, it's only 0.8. You have Venus in 11th. That will help you recover a lot of what you've lost. I always tell people, if you're at a crux, you're at a junction, call us. We can help you with an appointment just for your own benefit.
Okay.
Another issue I see in the chart is your Mercury is very badly combust. Because Mercury jo hai, he is sitting 1 degree away from ascendant. Na? And that impacts your social 10th house, essentially. Call us. We'll see what we can do. Okay.
Ji, the number to call is 408-639-5300. Before we talk about the next house, which is the 12th house, we'll take another call, last call for this segment. You are live on air.
हेलो, थैंक यू साकेत जी.
Hello.
मेरा नाम राहुल लड्ढा है और मैं फ्रीमोंट में रहता हूँ. मेरा बर्थ डेट है 22 अप्रैल 1984 एंड मेरा बर्थ प्लेस है पाली इन राजस्थान, पाली मारवाड़ राजस्थान.
And the time?
एंड टाइम इज 5 PM.
Pali,
और-
Rajasthan. Okay.
हाँ जी, तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि हम लोग एक डिसीजन लेने वाले हैं. मेरा घर फ्रीमोंट में है और हम लोग सोच रहे हैं कि हम उसको रीमॉडल करवाएं कि हम लोग नया बाय करें. सो वी आर थिंकिंग फ्रॉम, जैसे अभी हमारा नॉर्थ फेसिंग हाउस है, वी वांट टू सी वेदर कंटिन्यू करें इस घर में कि हम नया घर खरीदे. तो वो एक डिसीजन हमें समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि कैसे लें. तो मैं आपसे थोड़ी गाइडेंस लेना चाहूँगा.
देखिए, जुपिटर अपने ही घर में बैठा है. जुपिटर इज वेरी स्ट्रांग फॉर यू. जुपिटर इज ऑल्सो द सिंबल इन दिस केस फॉर पार्टनर एंड द सिंबल फॉर प्रॉपर्टी. तो जुपिटर मून की दशा चल रही है अभी, एंड मून इस कुंडली में बैठा है, 5th हाउस में. तो आई वुड से इफ यू डिसाइड टू गो बिटवीन नाउ एंड September, you should buy a new house. If you decide not to do it between now and September, then you should, stay in this particular house. That is my advice to you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Rahul ji. 408-639-5300 is the phone number जहाँ पर आप अपॉइंटमेंट ले सकते हैं साकेत भाटिया जी के साथ, ताकि आप ज़्यादा डेवलप कर सकें अपने डिसीजन में. saketbhatia.com is the website और email address is info@saketbhatia.com. साकेत, मैं भी कुछ साल पहले, 1 साल पहले was doing this same exercise, build versus remodel versus buy a new one. Now I'm regretting कि आपके पास आना चाहिए था.
So what did you do? Build or remodel?
That
or
I'll
buy?
tell you offline. तो हम अपने लिसनर्स को बता दें कि हम आज बात कर रहे हैं हमेशा की तरह हाउसेस के बारे में, और अब हम 12th हाउस की तरफ रुख कर चुके हैं. ये आखिरी हाउस है हमारी डिस्कशन का.
This is the last house, the
जी.
12th house. See, first house is you, na? It's
जी.
the ascendant. आप पैदा हुए हो first house में.
जी.
First house tells us how your birth delivery was. Was it a C-section? Was it regular delivery? वो भी पता चलता है. Was it a painful delivery? Was it infant mortality? Was it something like that?
जी.
So अगर first birth था, 12th means dissolution. 12th means letting things go, right? तो आप कहोगे कि why is this house important? Why do we even care about the 12th house? I mean, it's the house we don't want to talk about, right?
जी.
But everything has to come to an end. 12th house is not just about your death. It is also of letting things go,
Okay.
right? If you had a house and you decided to buy another house, you can't keep saying, वो पहला घर छोड़ दिया, पहला घर छोड़ दिया. You have to let it go. That is what the 12th house does. It tells us, जो चला गया है, you have to let it go and move on. Whether it is death of a family member, death of a friend, you have to move on. That is 12th house. That's the importance of 12th house. A good planet like Jupiter, जब 12th house में बैठ जाता है, it also indicates you could be very skilled at an early age on something. The 12th house is not on negative. If sun is sitting in the 12th house, exalted है, और कुंडली में sun is a good planet, it can mean you're probably going to lead a big company, big organization, in a foreign land. So everything is not negative with 12th house. 12th house क्या होता है? It is one of the most hidden houses. जो planets है, they give their energy but in a very secretive manner. They don't tell everybody what it's going to do. This house represents your inner world of psychic. So the planets are on a very spiritual level.
जी.
जब हम कहते हैं मोक्ष मिलेगा, we study 12th house. जितने साधु संत होते हैं, they have very strong 12th houses. They have Ketu. I'm going to discuss multiple shows on Rahu Ketu.
जी.
What is Rahu? Expansion. What is Ketu? It is not contraction. It is your comfort zone. So, and a good example would be, अगर हमने आपको अपने घर में बंद कर दिया, and we turn the lights off, you're not going to get scared. It's
Right.
your house. You're still comfortable. Now, if after a few months I open the door and take you out and you see the light, you'll wonder, what is this? I want to get out. I want to enjoy myself. आप जब घर में बैठे थे, that is Ketu, your comfort zone which you take for granted. It's mist. It's dark. You don't know. You can't see. Rahu is a whole world of possibilities which you think you can do. You want to explore. Think of Rahu Ketu like that. जब Ketu 12th house में आ जाता है, it makes you detached from the world. It makes you on a very different spiritual level.
So Ketu in the 12th house is then good,
Depends.
according to...
It depends. If Ketu is good in the 12th house, Ketu means flag. Ketu का मतलब होता है झंडा, flag.
जी.
जहाँ बैठ जाता है, it will exhibit the characteristics of the house it sits with. The
Okay.
house that rules that particular, the planet that rules that house and the planet that sits with it. ये तीन चीजें हैं.
जी.
So if Ketu is very strong and Ketu is a good planet in your chart, he can give you spirituality. I have not seen a moksha chart of a client till today. हमने 12,000 से ज्यादा client charts पढ़ी हैं. We have not seen it till today. It doesn't happen. But we have seen, I'll give an example of somebody who wanted to join a monastery. Okay? This is an individual who made millions of dollars. He wanted to join a monastery. It was written in his chart. He did go. And 4 years later he came back because he thought it was not for him. Because पूरा time उन्हें यही लगा कि दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है. I want to know what my kids are doing, what my investments are doing. So after 4 years he came back.
जी.
He had Ketu in the 12th house, exalted, very strong. But there was something that was pulling him back. That said, no, you can't do this. So this is also the house which is related to sickness, prisons, hospitals, and mental institutions. Because you're detached, right? When you're in jail, you're detached. When you're in a hospital, you're almost on your deathbed. No matter what it is, you are not normal, right? You're sick.
जी.
This is also the house which is associated with enemies, confinement, and removing liberty for you. 12th house is very important. Vedic astrology में अगर आपका Venus आ गया 12th house में, further if Venus is sitting in Mool Trikon, exaltation, or with Rahu, you will have huge amount of luxuries in your life. Huge. बहुत enjoy करोगे आप life. Now, 5th house is your past life, the boons you get from your past life, the good deeds. 12 shows the unfulfilled desire of your last life.
Okay.
पिछले जन्म में ऐसा क्या छूट गया था आपसे जो आपको अब चाहिए, वो 12th house से दिखता है. Okay. It also shows decrease, wastage, decay. Right? Planets जो यहाँ आते हैं, some of them waste their energy. For example, moon. जब moon यहाँ आ जाता है, it shows emotional drain, moodiness. Saturn here, from my experience, has almost always shown severe depression. Right? It is the house of disappointment, resignation, limitation, confinement. Right? It's a very secretive house. It's a house that works behind the scenes to shape you. So when you come to us and we look at your chart, we look at your 12th house to get an understanding of where you will end up and how things will happen. There is a listener who's listening on my show, and for that individual I want to say, because I read one of that individual's relatives' chart, and I said, अगर ये यहाँ आते हैं, they will either go to jail, right, or be in a hospital. But if they stay back in their country, life would be great for them.
जी.
तो ऐसा भी होता है, right? So it's your life after death state, deeper attachment that you have with people in life. So specific indications in one word, in few words: loss, expenditure. Now remember, expenditure can be good. If you are to go to and buy yourself a brand new car, you're spending money. आपके बैंक में तो loss हो गया because you bought a car, but you'll enjoy that.
That's right.
So 12th house is about losing and understanding what you're losing for, and expense. Okay? Debt, misfortune, moksha, self-realization, enlightenment, final liberation, salvation, what you will encounter after death, heaven or hell or the state, amount of pleasure you'll have in life, luxuries, travel to foreign lands, hospitals, prisons, confinement. It also deals with hearing, especially left ear, and vision of the left eye. So if we see, Sun, Saturn, Lord of 12th is aspecting your 12th house, we can say कि आपकी left eye थोड़ी weak है. Right? Personal experience also.
जी. अच्छा.
Secret enemies, इसका कारक Saturn होता है. The 12th house is a suffering house. Like I said, if Jupiter comes here, then person is very skilled, and people who are very charitable in nature, they have a strong Jupiter, strong in the 12th house. So these are all the houses we've covered. No house is less important. आपकी life में जैसे जैसे time आता है, each house becomes what increasingly important. When you are single, it's all about you. When you go to school, it's all about friends, third house.
And career and studies.
Career, 10th house.
Acha.
Studies, 9th house, research.
Ji.
Studies could be 4th house. Then you get married, that's 7th house. Then you have kids, that's 5th house. Then you start falling sick, that is 6th house, right? And then you have, your dad you're dealing with, that is your 9th house. And then you start making money, saving money, that is 11th house. And then letting go of things is 12th house.
There's
This
a-
cycle hota hai. You have to go through all. You
Ji.
cannot miss anything.
Right. Yeah.
Right? If
Yeah.
somebody asks you, could you go back in time? The right answer should be no. We've lived our time. We have to move on.
Right.
We have to learn कि आगे जाके क्या होगा हमारे साथ.
Learn to let go. House of 12.
House of 12. Yes. So 12th house का जो lord होता है,
Ji.
in general is considered negative, but in all aspects it's a neutral house. He gives the results of the other house he owns.
Got it.
I know it's complicated, but जब हम पढ़ते हैं कि Jupiter owns this house, right? So let's say you're a Capricorn ascendant. So Jupiter will own the 3rd house and the 12th house. तो वो negative हो जाता है. Okay, it's just like that. If you're an Aquarius ascendant, then Saturn owns the 12th house and the 1st house. So in this case, Saturn is not necessarily negative. He's a good planet.
Got it. अब तक मुझे लगता था हम सिर्फ फ्यूचर देख सकते हैं, बट आज के बाद पता चला कि we can even look at our past life. So that is super interesting.
You can, and there are many people who specialize in that. But उसका problem क्या है? We don't know. You can say something and there's no guarantee it is true. I don't do that. I can't. Neither we tell you what's going to happen to you in the future. We focus on today, tomorrow, and the day after. हमें उस पे focus है. How to improve your life. How we can take you from point A to point Z when you yourself can only go from point A to point B. That is what we have to do.
जी.
People come in, and I've had people that say, I want to start this business, and I said, no, ab nahi karna. Wait. Focus on your job, and you're going to do something, 3 years later in this field. Start thinking about that today. That is important. And it rings a bell. They're like, yes, dimag mein to hai, to karo.
जी.
An astrologer's job is to wake you, shake you, and to shape you.
ओह नाइसली सर, नाइसली पुट. तो अगर आप भी ज्यादा जानकारी जानना चाहते हैं, saketbhatia.com पर जाइए या फिर आप कॉल कर सकते हैं 408-639-5300. Let's take this caller has been waiting for a really long time. We are almost short of time. Let me try one more time. Hello, you are live on air. This is our last call for today. Please go ahead with your information and then follow it up with your question, please.
Hello, namaskar, Dr. Bhatia.
Namaste, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am doing well. Thanks for asking. And what's your name?
My name is Raman.
Raman, how can I help you, Raman?
I just wanted to know how my life is going to be for the next foreseeable period, like you said, the immediate future.
Okay.
My date of birth is 29th November 74.
29th November 1974. And
Correct.
time of birth?
2:20 a.m. in Chennai.
2:20 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. 0
Chennai?
20. Okay. Okay. Okay, got it. एक ही क्वेश्चन है आपका?
Yeah, एक ही क्वेश्चन है बस.
That is a tough question actually. How is your life going to shape out in the next foreseeable future, right?
ब्रॉड क्वेश्चन है एकदम.
नहीं, मैं सोच रहा हूँ how to answer that. So have you ever seen your chart? आपने कभी देखी है?
Yeah.
तो what you're running a Jupiter Sun dasha, right?
Correct. I think so.
Yeah, Jupiter. देखिए, in this chart Jupiter is the lord of 4th and 7th. एक simple rule होता है. A benefic planet. इस कुंडली में Jupiter is a neutral planet, but benefic planet only benefic houses will tend to lose most of its benefic properties. Okay. Right? So
Okay.
Jupiter is sitting in you don't have any debilitated planets, but you have moon which is strong. Jupiter ki dasha aayegi, he is going to give you peace at home, he is going to give you happiness. If you're thinking of starting a business, that's a good time for you too. Jupiter is not debilitated in the Navam's chart either. So when we say foreseeable future, I'm only going to go, let's say, 5 years. How's that?
Okay, that's fine.
That is going to be the start of your Saturn dasha. FYI, Saturn dasha is going to be good for you. It's going to be better than Jupiter dasha. Okay? Jupiter Dasha, Apni Dasha mein he is going to bring home, happiness, peace at home. He's also going to bring some ill health. Watch your health. I don't see any issues right now. You might, job scene is looking good for you. Do you have your own business or you work for someone?
I work for someone.
That scene, that actually is very encouraging for you. At this time, give it another, I would say 9 to 10 months. You should see good progress happening in your job. Your Saturn is retrograde in the 10th house, so that generally causes some sort of delays. Overall, nothing to worry. Just minor health issues, but not something that is going to be major, okay?
If you said, Dr. Bhatia, you said like 11th house lord मेरा moon है क्या?
11th Lord Moon है, he is very well placed in the 9th house, but Ketu के साथ बैठा है. There are two
Okay.
things you have to understand. Your Moon is 11th Lord. आपका ascendant 12 डिग्री पे है, Moon 2 डिग्री पे, तो Moon border पे आ जाता है ना.
Oh,
Correct.
okay.
Since he's at the border, he's very weak. Okay, Moon थोड़ा weak है, and Ketu will cause some issues in that house. Ketu आपका debilitated है. Debilitated Ketu sitting with Moon थोड़ा issue देगा आपको. But nothing to worry. Don't worry. That dasha is coming in May 2024. It will get over in September 2025. But nothing to worry. He won't do anything wrong. कुछ गलत नहीं करके जाएगा आपके साथ.
Okay.
Hope that helps. Thank you so much for joining. अगर आपके पास follow-up questions है या फिर आपको लगता है आपको detailed reading करानी है, info@saketbhatia.com is the email address. Phone number is 408-639-5300. 408-639-5300. और ये सारी information आपको consolidated भाव में मिल जाएगी saketbhatia.com पर. Saket, I'm so impressed with our listeners कि उनको अपना chart पता है, and that makes me feel like कि हमको भी अपना पता करना चाहिए. And they are very aware of where what is placed, and they're just trying to help you figure out how to read it and how to interpret the stars.
So I would say about 90% of the people that come to meet me
जी.
are very educated people who have, bachelor's, master's, PhDs, scientists, doctors, engineers, politicians, lawyers,
जी.
people who are accomplished in their field. We have realized the belief in astrology is more first with spiritual people and then with more educated people.
But how many of them actually know their charts and they are just asking you to read and interpret and help them decide?
I think I can safely say about 15% जो हमारे पास आते हैं. They're
जी.
very well versed.
जी.
I just had somebody who came in yesterday who was extremely well versed on his chart. He did make lots of mistakes, and I said, "How did you learn astrology?" He's saying, "I've been watching your YouTube videos." So I said, "That is one good way, but you really need to read more. You need a good person to explain, because क्या होता है? You may think हमारा ये योग बन गया,
जी.
but अगर planet की स्थान वाला ही अलग है, if it is sitting in the wrong house aspects, तो वो कट जाता है.
जी.
Like right now I said, okay, your planet is debilitated, but it won't hurt. इनकी चार्ट में हर्ट नहीं कर सकता. There are certain rules that are written at the back of our head that we can't discuss here because time नहीं मिलता, right? So people do know their chart, and it's not wrong. You have to be aware. If somebody asks you how much you weigh, the right answer is I'm overweight, underweight. This is my BMI. You should know that. Same way, chart पता करना अच्छा है. It gives you more confidence
जी.
in what is going to happen to you.
जी.
अगर आपको पहले पता चल गया ये health condition आ रही है, take care. You won't be able to alleviate it completely, but at least काफी हद तक you can prepare कि its intensity would be minimized.
That's right. But I think चार्ट पता करना एक बात है, बट 25 साल से 12,000 क्लाइंट्स का चार्ट देख के जो एक्सपीरियंस है वो पता करना अलग बात है, एंड दैट्स व्हाट डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया हैज. इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस, 408-639-5300 is the phone number, or you could email him at info@saketbhatia.com. That's info@saketbhatia.com. तो साकेत, आज का हमारा टाइम ऑलमोस्ट खत्म होने वाला है, और आपको पता है दिस इज माय फेवरेट पार्ट वेयर वी आस्क यू फॉर क्लोजिंग रिमार्क्स. आज के थे और 2 टॉपिक्स व्हिच वी कुडंट गेट टू, एंड नेक्स्ट वीक Vedika will be here to talk about those. But आज के लिए आप जरा हमें closing thoughts, what's top of mind for you, and how would you like to close our show
So
today?
I always like to discuss astrology in closing, right? Astrology and how it can help you in life.
जी.
देखिए 12 घर हैं, right? Life is a full circle. You've heard that saying.
जी.
And astrology also, it starts from the first house, it goes anti-clockwise or it goes clockwise depending on the south or north chart, and ये life अपनी close हो जाती है. Learn to enjoy every aspect of life. जिस टाइम पे जो important है, focus on that. Stop worrying about the past. If you're worrying about the past, you won't get anywhere. The past is only a lesson for you. So you can improve. You can improve your strengths further, because your weakness hoti hai, to improve your weakness is very hard. I'll tell you something, which is very important. India mein, when the Modi government decided to improve the country, what did they do? Did they go and improve all the villages first, or did they improve the cities first? They improved the cities.
Ji.
Why did they not improve the villages first? Interesting question.
Right.
Because the simple answer is, you always build on your strengths. When you build the cities, people from the villages will come, they'll get more jobs, they'll get more opportunities, and they can take more money back home, and automatically the village will develop. If you develop the village, the city will remain where it is. And cities have more people, more financial impact on society in general. Same way, you need to identify your strengths and weakness. आपकी जो strength है, it is never full. You can always improve it further.
जी.
If you're a student, study more. If you're a homemaker, you can always do better. You can spread more love, more affection. अपनी strengths बढ़ाइए.
जी.
आपकी जो weakness है वो अपने आप बढ़ जाएगी. Right? But the strength you have is yours. Nobody can take that away from you. Right? And you need to make sure your moon is strong, your emotions are strong, your mind is strong, you are stable, you're healthy. Health first, mind second, body third. It should be balanced like that. Right? Because agar aisa ho, you can take care of everybody. The life is a full circle. Learn to enjoy. कल क्या होगा वो एस्ट्रोलॉजर को पता है, लेकिन आज जो हो रहा है वो आपको पता है. Right? Come to a good astrologer. We can help you. We will guide you. Read credentials, read reviews, read about your astrologer before you go to them. Don't go to an astrologer who just says, ye hoga, wo hoga. No, ask questions. Kyun hoga? How did you come to this conclusion? Let them explain to you what is happening, just like your doctor does. Okay, life is very short when you're having fun.
जी.
When you're going through a tough phase, it looks really long. But again, don't hold yourself responsible for what you've done, because you can only do so much in life. We always make decisions based on the information we have available today. So be creative, be spontaneous, be happy. Learn to live your life the right way.
जी, ये तो एस्ट्रोलॉजी, स्पिरिचुअलिटी, माइंडफुलनेस, ये सब का एक लेसन आपने जोड़ के हमें बता दिया. थैंक यू सो मच साकेत जी फॉर बीइंग विद अस, एंड अपने लिसनर्स को भी थैंक करना चाहेंगे. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर कनेक्टिंग विद अस. इफ यू वुड लाइक टू कनेक्ट विद डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया, देन द नंबर इज 408-639-5300. Number again is 408-639-5300, and website is saketbhatia.com. email पर भी आप संपर्क कर सकते हैं, info@saketbhatia.com. अगले हफ्ते सेम टाइम सेम शो द साकेत भाटिया एस्ट्रोलॉजी शो फिर से फीचर होगा ट्यूसडे 4 से 5 बजे तक. हमारे साथ जुड़ना मत भूलेगा. थैंक यू सो मच साकेत फॉर बीइंग विद अस.
Thank you, and hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.
You are listening to Radio Zindagi, KZDG 1550 AM, San Francisco and the entire Bay Area.
5 p.m.